Okay, this is an interesting one. Anthony Fowler was on TalkSport. Now, remember Anthony Fowler, former Matchroom Pro, fought as part of Team GB. He retired, I think, last year, but his last fight was 2022. He won that fight. And yeah, Anthony Fowler as a pro, he was all right, but he didn't really do a tremendous amount as a pro. But he was in Team GB for a while. He was part of the Rio 2016 squad. I think he might have even been one of the main guys. He didn't win anything, but I think he was one of the kind of main guys of that squad, I should say. And he is talking about witnessing Daniel Dubois hurting Anthony Joshua in sparring at Team GB. Now, this is something that has been rumored for many, many years. Anthony Joshua, certainly, I want to say there was a period of about 2 to 3 years where it just seemed like almost every other couple of months, there was rumors of Anthony Joshua getting hurt in sparring, or someone dropping him or seriously hurting him and stuff like that. I remember Lawrence Okoli. I'm not sure if this was, I think this might have been 2017. There was rumors that Lawrence Okoli had hurt and dropped Anthony Joshua in sparring. And I don't even think Lawrence Okoli he wasn't even a pro at that time. And there was rumours about that. There's been rumours about Daniel Dubois, David Price. I think that was even before Anthony Joshua was a professional. I think that was back even before the Olympics. And, that one, the Anthony Joshua Price one, we know that one happened. But there's always been these rumours and this like that. But Daniel Dubois, he never said specifically, I knocked Joshua out or anything like that. But he always used to kind of smile and say, I did well. Now, I'll touch on this in a sec. But I'll read what he says here. He says, Joshua got caught with a short left hook and his legs completely went. Daniel could have hit him again and put him to sleep, but Dubois had a bit too much respect for him to finish him off. Joshua's legs were like jelly. He wanted to carry on, but Rob McCracken was like, have a little break, get your legs back to normal, and then continue. Dubois could probably have hit him again and knocked him out, but chose not to out of respect. We're talking probably 16. Well, if it was Fowler on GB, you're probably talking 16. 2016, when that may have very well happened, maybe very early 2017, but around about 2016 time. And obviously Anthony Joshua used to base his camps out of Sheffield when he was with Rob McCracken. That's interesting. And listen, if Anthony Joshua was in his mid-20s and was a bit more inexperienced, I would say that maybe a situation like that in sparring could play on his mind going into the fight, yes. I think that, and listen, this is what Anthony Fowler is saying. Do I doubt that something like that could have happened? Certainly not. I don't doubt it for a second. I mean, I've been around, and again, I haven't been around them for crazy amount of time, but I remember in 2019, I was in a pro boxing gym. And on Saturday, they used to get like a lot of the pros to spar. I remember seeing a lightweight with a body shot drop a light heavyweight. So you see things in sparring. You do. You see it. You see things happen. You see people get hurt, even with the big gloves. Things still happen. Certainly with heavyweights the size of Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. You may have 18-ounce gloves and headguard on, but if you're hit with a very, very good shot by a very big man who clearly has punching power, it's going to hurt you. You see these people. I don't really like seeing it because to me it's just, why would you do that? Like people who go into boxing gyms trying to knock someone out and get a video recorded. So, look what I did. It's like, it's sparring. It literally means nothing. Have you won anything? No. You probably fought some guy who was way overmatched and knocked him out in sparring. Well done. With this one, now, there is always that unwritten rule that you don't let what happened in the gym get out. Or you certainly don't say, it was this person, that person, this, that, and the other. But Anthony Fowler is retired long since. And again, reading this, Team GB and all that, I suspect that was many, many years ago. You're probably looking at 2016, which could be about 8 years ago, thereabouts, depending on what time in the year it happened. But I wouldn't read necessarily too much into this. At the end of the day, Daniel Dubois was at the press conference with Filip Hrgovic for the Matchroom versus Queensbury 5v5. Filip Hrgovic basically admitting to the fact that, I beat up Daniel Dubois in sparring. Dubois himself, God help him, pretty much admitted it and was like, well, that was then, this is now. Well, he was right though, because that was then and this was now. In the actual fight, did those demons of sparring come back? No, they didn't, and he was hit enough. You think if they were there, that would have happened. I think with certain fighters, they are able to separate what happens in sparring to what happens in the ring. There's some fighters like that can't do that. there are some fighters out there who are, gym fighters, or fighters who, if something happens against a certain opponent in sparring, maybe even years later, they don't want to know. Canelo Alvarez and Triple G sparred way, way back when. Canelo was, I think, 154 pounds still. And I remember people saying at the time that Canelo wasn't dropped or anything like that, but he certainly felt some of Triple G's shots. And a lot of people speculated maybe that's why he waited until Triple G was looking a little bit worse for wear, and he had developed more into the fighter he would eventually go on to become, before eventually saying, now we'll do it. It does happen. People do remember what happened in sparring. And, I think that if you look at someone like Jarrell Miller, I remember there was a rumor, and he never actually, denied this, that he was dropped by Tyson Fury. And if you think about it like this, Jarrell Miller will always speak, like Deontay Wilder is this, Anthony Joshua is that. He always is just with Tyson Fury. It's, nope, I ain't gonna say anything. He's like Simon Jordan almost. Everyone's crap except you. So I think with some fighters, they do remember what happened in sparring. They do know if someone hit him with a good shot, if someone hurt them, if someone, say, dropped them, they would remember and they would take it with them. But again, I think that's more an inexperienced fighter. I think once you are of a certain level, or a certain level of experience, I should really say, I think that kind of becomes irrelevant. At the end of the day, you're talking about something that happened 8 years ago, potentially. That's not going to, I think, hold much significance in this fight. And the people who were saying, oh, well, it will, I was like, well, did it hold much significance when Filip Hrgović said, and Dubois basically admitted, that he battered in black and blue in their spar? No, it didn't. It didn't hold any significance whatsoever in the fight on fight night. I suspect this is going to be the same. But it is interesting to read. So, a short left hook. Isn't that interesting? It was a left hook that Dillian Whyte, and it was actually quite a short left hook that Dillian Whyte hit Anthony Joshua with as well in their fight in the second, I think it was the second round anyway, where he appeared, he definitely stunned Anthony Joshua. That's interesting, isn't it? Short left hook. I wonder, is that a punch maybe that Joshua maybe is a little bit suspect to in terms of defense? And the one thing you will say about Anthony Joshua, now again, you got to figure that this is Joshua who has improved leaps and bounds since, we'll say, 2016, 2017. Would Daniel Dubois at least be able to gauge, right, he is not the same fighter, but I know what I was able to hit him with. Maybe he could. But it's an interesting read from Anthony Fowler, and he would have been part of Team GB at the time. He would have been there, so yeah, it would have been very interesting. It's interesting the way you talked about respect there. Dubois, having so much respect. And listen, it's sparring, and I get it. It is a bit of a dick move to go in there and deliberately try and do it, but as in knock the guy out. But in the other sense, you have to say that, listen, regardless of who you're in there with, if you're in there with someone who is where you want to be, should you really show them all that much respect? That's what Tyson Fury did with Vladimir Klitschko, showed him no respect. Went and said, when they asked him, were you impressed? And he was like, no, just a man with gloves. And to be honest with you, that's the best way to do it, in terms of when you're fighting someone who, at the end of the day, he might be older than you, he might be the champion, you might be only starting out, but he is the man you want to get to. And why are you giving him a psychological edge by, bigging him up and saying, oh no, it was amazing being in camp with him, he was this, he was that? He is just another man with gloves at the end of the day. And Tyson Fury was right in that situation, and I think that helped him beat Vladimir Klitschko on the night. Going off a bit there, let me know your thoughts. Anthony Fowler saying that Daniel Dubois didn't knock out Anthony Joshua, but hit him with a left hook and his legs were gone. Let me know your thoughts. Will it play... Do you guys think that would play any significant role in this fight? I personally, for me, no. But could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And I'll leave it there. Peace.